Finally starting to loosen the grip up over there so we can finally talk to our guy down in New Orleans, the godfather of the black and gold, the Who Dat Nation, Cajun Cannon, Bobby Hebert, kind enough to stop by with us this morning on Off the Bench. Bobs, good morning. How are you?
Good, doing good. I'm glad to get a little break from that heat. I have to stand out there since the Saints are traveling to Los Angeles, and so I'll be on this afternoon on the radio. But I wasn't looking forward to 2 days. If ever it was like old school, if they'd have had 2 days today, I might be a little too old to do that. It was I don't know. I'm kind of getting soft in my old age. I was wussing out.
Okay, so that's kind of where I wanted to go with this, because Saints players on Sunday were talking about hitting a wall. You had LSU players yesterday talking about practice number 10 or day number 10. You know, this is when the grind starts and getting tired. When you hear players nowadays talking about their camp, how do you react?
Well, hitting the wall, what wall? I mean, you don't go 2 days anymore. I mean, I don't know. Maybe I sound like the old curmudgeon, like, get off my lawn type thing, or I walked 12 miles in the snow just to catch the bus or something. No, I think, I don't know, they train year-round. You should be ready to roll, only going one a day now. I think if you're dealing with a nagging injury or you're hurt, that is very frustrating because you want to go full speed, and then you can hit a wall that way. But if you in shape and you're ready to roll, if you have Antonio Brown feet, you hit the China wall. You can't even get over it or around it. And so when I look at players saying they hit the wall, come on, dude, you go one of these and you're not practicing like five hours in that one practice. That to me boggles my mind.
What was the hardest camp you were ever a part of?
Oh, it had to be in Hammond, 1986. Jim Barr's first year. He's a former Marine, so it was kind of a football boot camp. Definitely, I remember all the players. We were in what they called. We gave this name Hammond Beach. There wasn't no sand around. It was nothing but pine trees, and there was no breeze at Southeastern. And we were going 2 days, and we would really run sprints until somebody would fall out or start throwing up. and I was thinking, God, man, I remember I was standing by John Tice, my roommate, and his nickname was Bitch because he was always bitching. And
sounds like hot.
and so here's his nickname, and I'm like, Bitch. If we run one more, I think I'm going to fall out, and I'm the quarterback. How embarrassing. And then I looked at him. All of a sudden, he rolled over. He's swallowing his tongue. He's going like the convulsions. Dean Kleinsmith, the trainer, and they all come to him, so they revive him. They had an article with us in Sports Illustrated back then. We used the most IVs ever, so the team doctors and Dean Kleinsmith tell Coach, well, you got to tone down training camp, or somebody's going to die out here. Because, well, we're not toning it down. That's when we ended up going up to La Crosse, Wisconsin, which was awesome. We went up to La Crosse, Wisconsin. I was talking with T-Bob earlier about this. It was the Cheese League. You know how in Major League Baseball you got the Cactus League in Arizona, the Grapefruit League in Florida. It was the Cheese League. Within 2 hours bus ride, there was like 5 NFL teams. They had families taking vacations, going to all these different training camps. The Vikings were at Mankato State, which is Minnesota State. We were in La Crosse, Wisconsin. The Chiefs in River Falls. The Bears were in Platteville. Then you had the Packers. It was awesome, and the weather was awesome. So really, you had a little pep in your step when you had 2 days up in Wisconsin compared to Hammond, Louisiana. And I remember one day it was so hot. We didn't have no indoor facility. The heat index to 110, and everybody just kind of survived practice. Yes. And I remember Coach Barter saying, "You hot, huh? Well, hell, I'm hot." He goes, "Look at those guys up on that roof working. They're hot." It's almost you couldn't feel sorry for yourself. And I always, I did feel sorry, though, for the linemen. Like Steve Cordinal, they were banging their heads. And I remember here I was. I went from 216 to 201 in one practice.
Wow.
Steve Cordinal lost like 22 pounds. Went from like a 300-plus pounder to around like 278 or something.
I mean, that can't be helped. There's like nothing.
That is crazy.
Then you had to go back out there. you lose and you had to go back out there. You had coaches. We had one coach, John Peace. We called him Man Child. He was a defensive line coach. He'd go before practice. He'd go before practice and punt to himself. He would punt and whatever. Everybody was like, "Get away from him! He has way too much energy." Here you had John Peace punting to himself. I'll never forget this. He'd take like 4 or 5 showers a day. He was actually a New Jersey racquetball state champion. He's one of the best racquetball players in the whole United States. And he put baby powder, Johnson baby powder, all over him. The old Peace must have been around here. Look at all the baby powder everywhere. And to show you, he even coaching the 11th day. He lost 9 pounds in a practice coaching.
Damn.
Jeez, man.
Damn.
So Bobby, take me to this year's team. They end the last 2 seasons, the miracle in Minnesota, the no call last season in the NFC Championship game. What's the pressure? Is there a pressure around this year's team going into the season?
Well, it's kind of almost you take for granted playoffs. It's kind of like Super Bowl or bust. The only way I'd be disappointed with the team if they won 9 games. To me, if they get to double-digit wins, that's hard to do. I would not be disappointed. Last year, Vegas had with the win total over and under at 9. I said, "Oh, take the over." And I think a lot of people, they killed Vegas on that one, made a lot of money. Now it's at 11 win total. I think that's about right on because I still think you can win 10 games and have a great season depending on how the ball bounces your way. But, hey, I don't know, the third time's the charm. I mean, to have the bad luck, Minneapolis miracle in Minnesota, then last year, one play basically to go to the Super Bowl and you get screwed. I think they have a mature enough team. And they could be right there in the thick of things. What does that mean? I don't know. It means hopefully you get to the playoffs and you could do something. But to me, if you win 10 games, that's hard to do. I would not be disappointed with the team. Now, a lot of the members of the Who Dat Nation they'd be like, "Oh, that's underachieving." No, it's hard to get to 10 wins, and hopefully maybe they can take advantage of Drew Brees because I don't know. Tom Brady seems like he's going to maybe make it to 45, but I don't think Drew will. And he's basically, I know, taking it 1 year at a time. And I'd almost bet that if Drew would win that Super Bowl, that he would fade off into the sunset.
Yeah. And so if Breeze is going to avoid that kind of step back, one of the keys is going to be replacing Max Unger. After preseason game number 1, I now see why Eric McCoy has been penciled as that starter. What did you think about the rookie's performance in his debut?
Yeah, I always talk with Steve Corder, ex-offensive lineman. He watches the guys in the trenches. And, he had a couple of things. He says, overall, man, I think that McCoy did an outstanding job considering, even on that first drive, who you're going against. When he went against Linval Joseph from East Carolina, the old wily veteran, that's probably one of the best D tackles that nobody hears about unless you follow football. Well, Steve said there was one play that he got screwed by Linval Joseph, and Steve was thinking like, well, I bet that never happened to him at Texas A&M, type thing. So that's good, but I think the team is, proud of, or I don't know, proud's not the right word. I think they're pleased with him, and now I think you just got to get skins in the wall. You just got to get experience. To say you're just going to overnight replace Max Unger, that's a lot easier said than done, so to speak. But I don't know. You got to be in the interior. We got to be dominant. Andrews, Pete, look, Larry Wolford, and now McCoy, because Drew needs to be able to step up in that pocket. And I'm more worried right now with the backup offensive tackles and what direction they're going to go there. Because in theory, you want to keep Pete at guard and not have to put him out at tackle. Who knows? Before you know it, and it's still early in training camp, I might say, well, no, they've been in training camp. I could see maybe these tackles don't work out. Jamon Bushrod coming back in the fold.
Oh, wow.
About a week and a half before camp, or week and a half before the season.
We're talking to the Cajun Cannon, founding father of the Who Dat Nation, Bobby Hebert, here on Off the Bench, 104.5, 100.3, 94.7 ESPN. Saints and Chargers are teaming up to practice together. Do you have any memories from any combined practices back in the day that stand out?
Well, they have one, but I was never a part of that. Was totally a living legend practice, and I might be in a negative way. Eventually when I went to the Falcons, you tell old war stories. And Mike Ruther, Scott Case, these old Falcons players, when I got there, he goes, well, let me tell you what happened. All of a sudden, we could throw a bone to the Falcons fans in Macon, Georgia. I think that's right above the net line or right at the net line. And so they go to Macon, Georgia, and they're going to, have a 3-day practice against the Philadelphia Eagles. And Buddy Ryan's running the Philadelphia Eagles, and Jerry Glanville, he's running the Falcons. All of a sudden, they get together, and Glanville's telling Jeff Donaldson, Scott Case, and he's doing one-on-one, 7-on-7. The receivers catch that ball across the middle, just knock the crap out of him. not even in teams. Just go and waylay him. So all of a sudden, Buddy Ryan sees this as what the. So he gets his Eagles DBs. So they knocking the crap out of Falcons receivers. All of a sudden, it's literally. Well, they'd have had social media then. They'd have someone to film. It went. It was mayhem. It was just a riot broke out, and you're talking 150 players. All of a sudden, it's a free fall. There's just everybody fighting. They were at a high school stadium, and Scott said, "You wouldn't believe this. They had, you had a cyclone fence kind of around the field. They said 3 Eagles players had Tim Green, and we're praying for Tim Green. He's dealing with ALS. He's the #1 draft pick, defensive lineman, smallest defensive lineman out of Syracuse." Well, 3 Eagles players had him up against the fence, and they were just waylaying on him. They had one holding up his face mask, and the other one just giving him uppercuts.
Wow! Oh my God!
NFL football players, man.
And all of a sudden, so Glanville and Buddy Ryan, they dog cussing each other. Then 2 old men, they start fighting. so they all start fighting, and then. So that's a stop practice. Supposed to practice against each other for 3 days. It didn't even last 2 hours. and the quit. Buddy Ryan, they all left. And Jerry Glanville, the character that he was, he said, "Okay, all this is on film." I told my team guys to film everything, and he said, "I tell you what, you better be really good because if I don't see you fighting." Well, you're cut.
I mean, how great is that?
So
if you're not a good enough player, I'm cutting you on the spot. So I thought, can you imagine today if you had a free for all? I guess we're more civilized now, and this is in the late '80s. But now you have a shoving match and they call it a fight. I'm like, what?
I mean, when do you ever see 200 people all out brawl, much less 200 NFL players? Just in a street fight.
You know what they would do today on TV? How everything's breaking news. Breaking news. The riot breaks down the NFL. It's a riot. Oh no, what are we gonna do?
We could do this for an hour. Rivers is looking at me. She's staring. I have 1 minute. Can I ask you this? T-Bob became a legend at SEC Media Days by singing karaoke and Louis Armstrong. Did you ever have a karaoke go-to?
No, I never had a karaoke go-to. I like to sing in the shower, but. Yeah, I'm not really.
I did steal the Louis Armstrong voice from him though. He does when the Saints go marching in. Yeah.
Wow.
Marching in.
Oh, T.
That hurts my throat though.
Oh, he's the best.
Yeah. So to get the Who Dat Nation fired up. So they had me trying on the radio to imitate T-Bob and Chewbacca. I don't got that done. I sound like a wounded Chewbacca who's maybe on his deathbed or something like that. We're really weak.
Cannon, this is a pleasure. It's always good to hear from you. Thank you.
All right, good to talk to y'all. Talk to y'all later.
There he is.
All right,
Bobby Hebert,
later.
check it in. We'll be back and close it out.
Off the bench with Culotta and T.